Good day and welcome to the editorials broadcast from Canada. My name is Sandra Asante. Today we are looking at foreign powers are intervening in Ethiopia. They may only make the conflict worse. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back after the break. You're welcome back from the break. So, amid the violence in Ethiopia, Eritrea and the United States have engaged in an escalating war of words. On November 12th, Washington imposed fresh sanctions as punishment for human rights abuses committed by the Eritrean troops fighting alongside the Ethiopian army in a bloody civil conflict, with U.S. Treasury announcing that it will blacklist the Eritrean military and ruling party. The Eritrean Information Ministry responded by alleging that the illicit and immoral sanctions were designed to harm the Eritrean people. It is a useful window into just how internationalized Ethiopia's civil war has become. Like so many conflicts in the Horn of Africa during the Cold War, when the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a series of proxy wars, the violence has domestic roots but is shaped by foreign powers. Each foreign player presents its intervention as a constructive contribution towards Ethiopia's future. But in reality, global competition for influence in one of the Africa's economically and militarily significant states has become a major barrier to resolving the conflict. Ever since Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed became the Prime Minister in 2018, tensions have been growing with the party governing that Tigray People's Liberation Front. That's what I'm talking about. So Tigray People's Liberation Front, which had played a dominant role in Ethiopia's government since 1991, found itself increasingly marginalized, especially after Abiy announced plans to set up his own political vehicle, the Prosperity Party, mounting the strife escalate into a war last November. Early gains led Abiy to predict that the conflict would be quick and obtained, but instead TPLF forces returning to the guerrilla war tactics regained control of Tigray. The threats that they would have marched on to the capital prompted the Prime Minister to ask ordinary citizens to take up arms earlier this month. With no end in sight to the conflict, which has killed more than 50,000 people and displaced 2 million others, the international community has faced pressure to broker a settlement. Yet, so far, foreign powers have represented more of a problem than a solution. While most media attention had focused on the involvement of Eritrean troops, reports suggest they have pulled back to the border. The most significant problem may now be a diplomatic one as such. So it is widely believed that Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki has personally antipathy to the TPLF, is pushing Abiy Ahmed to seek an unlikely military victory. Indeed, the timing of the latest U.S. sanctions coming, some 12 months after initial report of abuse by Eritrean forces, suggests that they are designed less to punish past wrongs than to force Afwerki to support peace talks. So the hostility between Eritrean and the TPLF is nothing new. Tigray sits at Ethiopia's northernmost point on the country's long disputed border with Eritrea. Before Abiy came to power, TPLF forces continue to occupy areas and, their neighbors in a defiance of a binding verdict from the International Court of Justice that some Eritrean leaders even announced their desire to reconquer parts of Eritrea, which gained independence from Ethiopia in 1991. Abiy therefore found a natural ally in Afwerki, who will expect to play a significant role in deciding how the conflict ends. When Abiy won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2019 for his decisive initiative to resolve the border conflict with neighboring Eritrea, it was widely celebrated as evidence that the Prime Minister was track to forge a more inclusive and thus stable government in Ethiopia. But read against the recent event, it is now clear that the achievement for which the prize was awarded, forging a new peace and international cooperation in the region, was part of a border agreement to curtail TPLF influence over both countries. The deal that led to the peace prize was in reality a prelude to war. Eritrea's involvement makes Ethiopia war more difficult to resolve, but it is hardly the only complicating factor from a foreign power. The Ethiopian government appears to have bombed towns in Tigray using drones purchased from authoritarian states, including Turkey. It has also been emboldened by its strong relationship with China as well. As of 2020, China was the main source of foreign investment in Ethiopia, with its companies and corporations accounting for 31% of all brand new projects last year, compared to the 21% that originated in the United States and 5% in Britain. So Ethiopia has also reduced its dependence on the West by intensifying and diversifying its international partnership. It's received a large amount of fungible money from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Persian Gulf states implicit support for Abiy's short-sighted approach that represent another barrier he claiming for peace. Against these complex backdrops, Western democracies have presented themselves as neutral, but their influence has also been diplomatic. But London and Washington supported Abiy after he came to power, even when it became clear that his claim to be a democratizing reformer was a little more than a public relations exercise. Ethiopia is key to anti-terrorism operations in the Horn of Africa. The country's economic success has been its poster child for foreign aid. Western governments fear ceding global influence to China. For all these reasons, the United States and Britain were slow to publicly challenge Abiy's handling of the Tigray issue, just as tolerated the repressive strategies of his predecessors. These failures and the tendency to underestimate the destabilizing potential of confronting with the TPLF embolden Abiy as a critical movement. This is where I end the editorials for today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sanjoa. Asante, you should have a great day.